Hello and welcome to another episode of Boxing with Ball. And today, I'm very excited to bring you Poetic's Spartan Case for the iPhone 13. Let's take a look at it. I know it probably sounds like a broken record by now, but just in case you haven't heard of Poetic, they're a pretty good company. You can tell by this very, very boring looking box that they don't really put money towards advertising or packaging or stuff like that. And instead, they're pretty good about their money, and whatever money they don't spend on packaging and other stuff that you don't really need that other companies do spend money on, they put that towards a bit of a nicer product. They put that towards a little bit more of research and development. They put that a little bit more towards your materials and towards making sure you get a nicer quality product, as these cases are a lot nicer and feel a lot more premium than the price would suggest. This one in particular, the Spartan case, looks to be just a repackage or a rebrand of their Revolution cases, as it is very similar because it contains a kickstand and switchable faceplates. Now, you can currently, before we continue, find this case on Poetic's website for only $23.95 in different color choices. There are other ones that are going to cost you, for some reason, $2 more, like the metallic red. For some reason, is going to cost you an extra $2. Why? I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and continue looking at our case and put this aside for right now, as well as this aside for right now. And I'm going to get this open. And let's pop this open. So now, the reason why I'm a fan of Poetic, on top of them being pretty budget conscientious and pretty budget friendly, is that you have everything you need to protect your phone right out of the box. So you get a faceplate with a built-in polycarbonate screen protector. And I do realize this is not tempered glass. I do realize a lot of people don't like this. However, it is a one-stop shop because that means your phone is going to be protected from head to toe. Let's go ahead and put this on. And then let's go ahead and put it inside of our case. Okay. And it's in there, it's installed. So now your phone is protected from head to toe, everywhere. The screen, the bottom, the back, the sides. And you don't have to worry about your phone, your screen being damaged or being scratched in any way, shape, or form. Now, I do like the fact that at the very top, they have done individual cutouts for each individual sensor. For example, we have our camera up the front, we have a cutout for that. We have a light sensor for that, we have a cutout for that. We have an infrared sensor, we also have a cutout for that. And we also have our earpiece, and we also have a cutout for that. We have 5 individual different cutouts out here. And let me just say that I'm very thankful for that, because they could have just gone with a big notch up here, which would have been quick, it would have been efficient, it would have been probably the best and quickest way to go. However, that would have looked sloppy and it would not have looked anywhere near as nice as this looks. So again, I'm always thankful whenever companies pay a little bit of extra attention into stuff like that. Let's go ahead and look over on the left side of our phone. We can see our volume button is very nicely labeled with the minus and the plus icons, as well as a flap covering our volume silent button. And let's go ahead. That is still very accessible indeed. You can still, flick it with your fingertip. We go over to the top of the phone. We see a very plain look, very good. And if we go ahead and go over on the right side of the phone, we can see the power button, and that has a power icon. Very nice attention to detail, again, Poetic. If we go over to the bottom of the case, we can see both of our cutouts for our speaker grills, as well as a flap covering our lightning port. Again, very nice attention to detail, as one of the very first things to go will be your charging port, as debris will often build up in there, or it can get damaged in some sort of way. Now, if we go over to the back of the case, we can see our camera lenses are very nicely protected behind this camera bump that seems to be fairly aggressive. In addition to that, back here we also have a kickstand. Let's go ahead and get this open. Now, the reason why I'm a fan of these kickstands over other kickstands that I've seen in the industry is that not only do they work in landscape mode to where you can have it laying down so you can watch YouTube, Netflix, whatever it is that you like, while you're eating or at work or whatever, but it also stands up, and the kickstand is able to be used in landscape mode so that the phone still remains functional and still remains usable. It doesn't have to be lying down on its side at all times. Now, you guys know that I do a very, very scientific test of dropping this against the ground several times until it breaks, just to simulate real world environments, as I'm not going to be using this in a lab. I'm sure you're not going to be using this in a lab, and it is subject to real world environments and real world impacts. And as such, let's go ahead and see how it does. There we go. Okay, so that only took 12 tries, but it looks like it finally gave. If you guys have been watching the channel for a little bit, you can recall that these used to break after 2-3 drops maximum. I am dropping them the exact same way. I am dropping them from the same height. The phones are the exact same size. If anything, the phones are getting larger and getting heavier. However, I am seeing these kickstands take more and more drops and abuse in order for them to break. That is great. That is amazing, because you want something to bend and flex first and foremost. But the reason why that's great and amazing is because Poetic is actively working on their formulas. They're actively working on their polymer compounds. They're actively strengthening them. They're actively working on them, because they are a lot stronger than what they were last year. They're a lot stronger than what they were 2 years ago. And this is great. Usually whenever companies make the slightest bit of profit, usually whenever companies make the slightest bit of money, it'll go towards the pockets of, the owner, the CEO, whoever is up at the top. It will not get reinvested into the business. That's not happening here. We're having the money get reinvested into the business, and we can clearly see here that this has failed. But it took 12 tries of me dropping it, when a year ago when I started doing, videos about Poetic cases, they would break within 2 to 3 tries. And I'm excited, I'm elated, and I'm happy. So now another reason why I'm a huge fan of these cases is that, well, let's say you don't like that polycarbonate screen protector. Let's say you don't like this, or let's say this got scratched to hell. Let's say you want to put on your own tempered glass screen protector. I hear you. I definitely hear you. And if that were the case, normally you would have to go and purchase a separate case, right? However, Poetic has got you covered, because inside of this very same package, you got a secondary faceplate. Now, the secondary faceplate is very similar to the first one, except for the fact that instead of it having a polycarbonate screen protector at the front, this has nothing. This has absolutely nothing. It's just a faceplate so that you can go ahead and either install your own tempered glass screen protector, or if you want, you can choose to go ahead and have nothing come in between you and your phone and just be bare glass. So let's go ahead and pop this phone out. Okay. And let's go ahead and put on our secondary faceplate. Installs just the very same way as the first one. And then we put it back in here. But now you have a perfectly smooth, clean surface on that you can put either your own tempered glass screen protector, or you can just have it be without anything come in contact. Your phone is still very well protected. You still have a very nice aggressive lip all the way around. Yeah, you still have a very nice aggressive sturdy case on your phone. And again, the buttons are still very nice, very clicky, as can be attested by me clicking on the buttons, how loud you can hear them. Are still fairly easy, fairly accessible, pretty easy to get to. Nothing has been impeded or negated or made any more difficult in any way, shape, or form. Go ahead and leave in the comments, what are your thoughts on Poetic? Would you grab something like this? Especially at $23, I believe it's a very good combination of price, value, and quality as well, as these cases are a lot more premium than price would suggest. Make sure you don't miss out on our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We're this close. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching.